Imagine a universe within your head, a universe so complex that even the most advanced computers can't begin to match it. This is the human brain, a marvel of evolution that fits inside your skull yet holds the power to create art, solve equations, and fall in love. But how did such a masterpiece come to be? What makes it so different from the brains of other animals? And why does it consume more energy than any other organ in your body? Let's dive into the mind-bending story of the human brain, the most mysterious and powerful organ on Earth. The human brain is the crowning achievement of billions of years of evolution, a product of relentless natural selection and the survival instincts that have shaped life on our planet. It's not just a collection of cells, it's a symphony of billions of neurons firing in perfect harmony, each one a tiny powerhouse of communication. This intricate network, formed by trillions of connections called synapses, allows us to think, feel, and interact with the world in ways no other species can. But how did this level of complexity arise? The answer lies in the evolutionary pressures that have driven the development of advanced cognitive abilities, from the earliest fish in the ocean to the first humans walking upright. Let's start with the sheer scale of the brain. Inside your skull, there are approximately 86 billion neurons, each one a specialized cell that sends and receives signals through tiny branches called dendrites and axons. These neurons are connected by synapses, and the number of these connections is staggering, around 100 trillion. To put that into perspective, if you were to count every synapse in your brain, it would take you over 3,000 years. This vast web of connections is what allows your brain to process information at lightning speed, from the moment you see a car swerving toward you to the split-second decision to jump out of the way. But how does this network form? It's a combination of genetics, environment, and experience, a dance of nature and nurture that shapes your brain from the moment you're born. At the heart of this complexity is the cerebral cortex, the wrinkled outer layer of your brain that's responsible for higher-order thinking. Within the cortex, the prefrontal cortex stands out as the command center for decision-making, planning, and self-awareness. This region is what allows you to resist the urge to eat that last slice of cake, to think ahead when solving a problem, or to reflect on your actions and learn from them. But the prefrontal cortex didn't just appear overnight. It evolved over millions of years, becoming more developed in humans than in any other species. This evolutionary leap gave us the ability to imagine the future, create tools, and build societies, skills that have defined our species and allowed us to thrive. Yet, despite its power, the brain is a paradox. It's only about 2% of your body's weight, but it uses up 20% of your total energy. That's more than any other organ, even the heart or the liver. Why does it need so much fuel? Because every single neuron is constantly firing, sending and receiving signals to keep your body running. Even when you're asleep, your brain is hard at work, sorting memories, regulating your body's systems, and preparing you for the day ahead. This high metabolic demand is a trade-off for the brain's incredible capabilities, a reminder that evolution often requires sacrifice to gain an advantage. But the brain isn't just a static machine. It's dynamic, constantly changing in response to your experiences. This ability to adapt is called neuroplasticity, and it's one of the most fascinating features of the human brain. From the moment you're born, your brain is shaping itself based on what you see, hear, and feel. If you learn to play the piano, the areas of your brain responsible for motor control and auditory processing will grow stronger. If you suffer an injury, other parts of your brain can sometimes take over functions that were lost. This adaptability is what allows people to recover from strokes, to learn new languages, and even to develop new skills later in life. Neuroplasticity is proof that the brain isn't fixed, it's a living, evolving organ that can reshape itself throughout your lifetime. To understand the brain's complexity, look no further than the story of Phineas Gage, a 19th-century railroad worker who survived a catastrophic accident that changed his life forever. In 1848, a metal rod was driven through his skull during a construction accident, destroying much of his frontal lobe. Miraculously, he survived, but his personality was transformed. The man who once loved his job and was a responsible worker became erratic, impulsive, and emotionally unstable. This case was one of the first to show that the frontal lobe plays a crucial role in personality, decision-making, and social behavior. It also highlighted the brain's specialization. Different regions handle different functions, and damage to one area can have profound effects on a person's life. Modern science has only begun to scratch the surface of the brain's mysteries. Projects like the Human Connectome, launched in 2010, are mapping the brain's neural pathways in unprecedented detail, revealing how different regions communicate and work together. These maps are helping researchers understand not just how the brain functions in health, but also how it breaks down in diseases like Alzheimer's and schizophrenia. By studying these connections, scientists hope to develop new treatments and even reverse some of the damage caused by neurological disorders. It's a reminder that while the brain is one of the most complex structures in the universe, it's also one of the most promising areas of scientific exploration. But perhaps the greatest mystery of all is consciousness itself. How does the brain, a collection of cells and synapses, give rise to the subjective experience of being alive? You feel pain, joy, fear, and love, but no one truly understands how these feelings emerge from the physical processes in your brain. Scientists have made progress in identifying the brain regions involved in consciousness, but the question of how these processes create the hard problem of consciousness remains unsolved. It's a challenge that has fascinated philosophers and neuroscientists alike, a puzzle that may take decades, or even centuries, to unravel. So what's the most important takeaway from all of this? The human brain is not just a machine, it's a miracle of evolution, a testament to the power of adaptation, and a reminder of the limits of our knowledge. It's a fragile organ that can be damaged in an instant, yet it's also remarkably resilient, capable of learning, growing, and changing throughout a lifetime. Understanding the brain isn't just about science, it's about understanding what makes us human. It's about the stories we tell, the decisions we make, and the connections we forge with others. And while there's still so much we don't know, one thing is certain: the human brain is the most incredible thing in the universe, and it's the one thing that makes you, you.